All right, theoretical probability practice 2. Find the probability of each event. Write each answer as a fraction in simplest form. They want it as a decimal to the nearest hundredth and as a percent to the nearest whole number. So let's look at number 8. You spin the spinner that's shown. The spinner lands on yellow. All right, so probability, we want, well, how many total outcomes are there? There are 6. How many of them are yellow? That is 2. Simplify that. It is 1/3. So there's our answer as a fraction. We want it as a decimal. 1/3 is 0.3 repeating. So round to the nearest hundredth would be 0.33, which is 33%. Moving on to number 9, you spin the spinner shown. The spinner lands on blue or green. Well, if we count these up, we get 12 total sections. How many of them are blue or green? That is 8. We can simplify that, divide by 4. We get 2/3. Now 2/3 written as a decimal is 0.66 repeating, or 0.6 repeating, which rounds to 0.67. And as a percent is 67%. So those are the answers. We're going to erase them, however, because we don't want you just skipping to the end of the video. Number 10, a jar contains 4 cherry cough drops and 10 honey cough drops. So 4 cherry and 10 honey. You choose one cough drop without looking. The cough drop is cherry. All right, so there are 14 total, and out of those 14, 4 of them are cherry. We can simplify that, divide them both by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 2/7. Now, 2/7, we want it as a decimal and a percent, is 0.29, which is also 29%. Moving on to 11. You pick one card at random from a standard deck, so we're going to pick one card. Standard deck of 52 playing cards, you pick a black card. Well, there are 52 playing cards. Half of them, which is 26, are black, or I kind of just gave the answer as a fraction. Half of them are black, and 1/2 as a decimal is 0.50, which is 50%. Moving on, there are 12 pieces of fruit in a bowl. 5 are lemons and the rest are limes. So the rest are limes. There are a total of 12. You choose a piece without looking. The piece of fruit is lime. Well, how many total are there? 12. If 5 of them are lemons and the rest are lime, that means 7 out of 12 are limes. 7 out of 12, that's simplified, so 0.58 is the decimal, which makes 58%, you can kind of see the percentage sign, the answer. So now we're going to, you should have those written down. We're going to erase these because, well, you know, we don't want you skipping to the end of the video. Moving on to 13, you choose a movie CD at random from a case containing 8 comedy CDs, 5 fiction CDs, and 7 adventure CDs. The CD is not a comedy, so that is super important. So how many total are there? Well, we have 8, 5, and 7. That makes for 20. 8 of them are comedy, so that means 12 of them are not. Simplify that, we can divide them both by 4, and we get 3 out of 5. So 3 out of 5 is 0.6, which is also 60%. So there's the answer to 13. 14, you roll a number cube. You roll a number that is greater than 2 and less than 5. Okay, so you roll a number cube, there are 6 outcomes. We have a number greater than 2. Well, let's write all these outcomes out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have a number greater than 2, so it needs to be greater than 2 and less than 5. So we only have 3 or 4. So that means 2 out of 6 simplifies to 1/3, which we already had that up top. 1/3 is 0.33 as a decimal rounded to the hundredth, and 33% as a percent rounded to a whole number. So you should have those written down. And we're going to be erasing and erasing. And we're going to erase that as well. Now 15, the theoretical probability of an event, a given event, is 9/13. Explain what each number represents. Okay, so we have 9/13. What does each number represent? Well, the bottom number, which here is 13, so let's start with 13 represents, and I'm just going to simply put equals because it's easier. 13 represents the total number of equally likely outcomes. That's the denominator. And the numerator, which is 9, represents the ways the event we want occurs. And that's all you do for 15. 16. Leona has 4 nickels, 6 pennies, and 4 dimes, well, and 2 quarters, and a change purse. Leona lets her little sister Daisy pick a coin at random. If Daisy is equally likely to pick each type of coin, what is the probability that her coin is worth more than 5 cents? Okay, well, we have all these different kinds. So how many is that total? That is 16 total. Now, we want to know how many are worth more than 5 cents. More than 5 cents. So nickels and pennies are out. We only have dimes and quarters. So that is 6 out of 16. We can simplify that to 3 out of 8. So the event is choosing a dime or a quarter, and 6 of the 16 coins are dimes or quarters.